Attention all nerds. Mercury is entering Gemini. I repeat, Mercury is entering Gemini. On June 11th, Mercury, the planet of the mind, logic, thought, and reason, is going to enter its home sign of Gemini. We love this transit. I always find that when Mercury's in Gemini, my mind is comfortable running a lot faster, and Mercury is moving a lot faster at this time. So nothing against Mercury in Taurus, but it's been real, it's been 2 months of Mercury in Taurus. We're excited for that shift. We're excited for the mind to get a little bit more stimulation is really the name of this game. But we need to take advantage of it because Mercury, as I said, is moving fast. So we're only going to get about 2.5 weeks of Mercury in its home sign. So take advantage of it. This is the time to finish that stack of books that you haven't finished reading on your bedside table. It's also the time to start 5 or 6 different books and not finish them, because that's the thing with Gemini is that it's a mutable sign. It's an adaptable sign. And so there's really not the need to necessarily fixate on one thing at any given time. There's something about variety and ability to juggle. And if you've ever studied your own mind, if you've ever thought about it, how does the mind really work? It's so quick. Our brain is here. You can have many different thoughts and many different processes going on at the same time. Some of them conscious, some of them subconscious. Like, for example, your brain is the organ of the body that tells your heart to pump and all that, but you don't consciously think about that. So there's a lot of functions that your brain is responsible for all at the same time. And so we can think about that with the juggling nature of Gemini. And yeah, this is a really great placement for learning. So if there's something that you wanted to study, like if you're watching my channel, you study astrology, Mercury is the planet of astrology. So this is a good time to pick up an astrology book. This is a good time for puzzles and games and things that kind of challenge your mind and exercise your mind. I find that when Mercury's in Gemini, there is a hunger for information. The tendency can be to just scroll and be on all your different applications. But the thing that I've been thinking a lot about is like the science of the brain. I have small children, so I'm doing some reading on child development and about how the habits and the rhythms and the activities that we do actually shape our brain. Our brain is actually pliable, not just in childhood, but in adulthood as well. And that's why, sometimes our brains as we get older can get crystallized because we don't actually challenge them. So what I'm going to challenge you to do, what I'm going to challenge myself to do is to break the patterns a little bit, help keep that brain flexible and open. So yeah, Gemini being an air sign, we want to keep our minds open. So that is going to be something that we may challenge ourselves to do. That tendency to be fixed or to be crystallized in the way that we think may come up for us in a really big way around June 15th and 16th. Not very long after Mercury enters Gemini, we have this square with Saturn and Pisces. So this is one we haven't seen yet. We've seen the Sun and Venus square off with Saturn and Pisces, but we haven't yet seen Mercury come into that square with Saturn in Pisces. So this one, pay attention to how this comes up because we're going to be seeing this aspect repeat for the next couple of years. We'll probably see it a couple more times while Saturn is in Pisces. So this may be a problem-solving transit. There might be something that we need to see, something that we need to wrap our head around, where we need to recognize the limitation, where we need to recognize where we need to take responsibility for the way that we communicate or the way that we operate. We may need to open our minds and see another point of view because Saturn can be kind of rigid and Gemini in nature is about opening. And Pisces is about, I think with Saturn and Pisces, it's like we need to strive to create hope. We need to strive to create these new pathways of possibilities. So there may be some problem solving with the need and the benefit of opening our mind really highlighted here. We may be able to there may be a need to see another point of view with these mutable planets in a square. And it might not be comfortable, but we might have to. We might have to try to do that for ourselves, to create that experience. So yeah, that's a little bit about Mercury and Gemini. And Mercury and Gemini also, just in a non-problem solving kind of way, it's playful, it's witty, it's fun. So if you're a writer, this is a really great transit for you. If you're a mathematician, this is going to be a great transit for you. If you're a comedian, this is going to be a great transit for you. If you're any sort of writer or salesperson or content creator, this one could be a really good time for that. If you're a teacher, this is a good time to come up with your itinerary and whatnot. So yeah, take advantage of Mercury and Gemini while the getting's good. Right off the bat, when Mercury first enters Gemini on the 11th, it's going to trine Pluto. So there can be some resourceful inventiveness coming in, some humor that cuts in a sort of Plutonian kind of way, helpful discoveries coming to light. And my favorite, Mercury conjoins with the Pleiades, which is a really beautiful activation for symbol and omen interpretation. So pay attention and work with it if you know how to. But for now, that's your astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also book your reading with me at catherineurban.com. And hey, you may also want to join Cauldron, my monthly astrology meetup.